What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new series I'm bringing to the channel, and we are going to be taking over Salford City, and we're going to be trying to take them all the way to the Premier League, and actually the final goal is going to be to win the Premier League itself. So we're going to be in this for the long haul. I hope you guys are excited about that, because I know I am. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I tried doing it when the game first launched, and I was trying to do it on Twitch, but the gameplay was just really bad at the beginning when it comes to these small teams, and I was having a hard time just enjoying it. So I ended up stopping, and I'm going to give myself some help here by giving us a transfer takeover, as well as having a very good scout to find at least one good player that we can sign for free, of course, coming through our youth system. So that's important, and the manager is going to be, by request of my man Joe Pina, is going to be Sir Torturetto, somehow connected to Dom Toretto from the Fast and Furious series. It's a weird connection, but I guess we're going to expand upon that as time goes on. And of course, going into Salford City, we are going to be taking over a team that, in terms of value and in terms of what they can actually achieve on their own without actually having a financial takeover, is probably one of the highest in the entire league, because of course they're owned in part by the class of '92, so Gary Neville, etc. We're talking about guys who are definitely going to invest in a club to take them to the top, or at least take them pretty high up. And they're also backed by one of their friends, who is also, if I'm not mistaken, the owner of Valencia. I could be wrong about that, but I know he's somebody who has experience in running clubs elsewhere. So for sure, it's a club with a lot of potential, and having the financial backing to really get ourselves some good players in early on, to have the potential to grow them as we go on through the seasons, and actually have them when we get to the Premier League being around, hopefully around 80 to 85, some of them. That's going to be very important for us. And I'm definitely confident that we can take Salford at least to the Premier League. Whether or not we're going to be able to win it, I'm hoping to be able to do it in about 5 years. 5 seasons, not 5, of course, real years, but that's kind of the goal, because of course we do at least one season in each in order to move up. So I'm hoping that we'll get promotion every season. Who knows, maybe actually win a couple of leagues and maybe win a few cups as we move on. It'd be really awesome to do well in the FA Cup. So I'm not going to show you the transfers themselves. I'm just going to show you the team as I develop it. Now, James Wilson, he's going to stay because he's, of course, I think he's a very talented player. It's a shame that he hasn't really been able to break through in the Premier League or the Championship, for that matter, because of course he's played for United, he's played for West Brom, he's played for some big teams on loan, and I expect him to actually get back to top form. Now, Marin is a very promising player, as is Ferreira, Turnbull, and Ferguson. So all three of them are excellent midfielders for the future. Medina is actually really promising. Hill is the player that we got from our scout, so he's supposed to be really good. And Dest is an American right back that I signed from Ajax, so very promising player, and I look forward to seeing what we can actually do with him. And the keeper is Zidane, which is, of course, Zinedine Zidane's son. So he's not going to be the best keeper around, I would say, because he doesn't have that much potential. He's like up to he's a decent keeper, but he's not going to be anything special. But for now, he's going to be perfectly fine. Our bench, as of right now, is still full of people that we need to replace because they aren't really good enough. But on the bench, we do have James Garner, who is an excellent player for United, one of the most promising players in our system. And we also have Darren Gibson, who is somebody who came through the United Youth Academy. So we have a lot of United in here. We have a lot of interesting players. And definitely, I feel like we have a team that's far superior to anybody we're going to encounter in League 2. And I think that even moving forward, we could potentially do something. James Wilson, and this is a player that, like I said, I have a lot of expectations for in the game in this career mode, because I think his potential is only like 73 or something like that. But I just feel like his experience and what he's been able to do, I just feel like at this level he's going to be excellent. Andrade is a player we have to get rid of. He's just not good enough. I think his potential like one above what he is right now. Meanwhile, James Wilson hits the post. And I feel like somebody like him, because he has the experience, even though he's only 23 in the game at the time of filming. And despite him only, not really having a great goal record in the top level, I feel like he, being on loan and stuff like that, it's not easy for him. So having a stable place to play, I think he can definitely, I'm talking about in real life, I think he can definitely develop. And one thing to take into consideration with him, and the reason why he's starting above Elliott, who has a higher overall, he's faster, and he's actually more physical, it's that James Wilson is a better finisher, first of all, and number two, he has a 4-star weak foot. And especially at this level, is extremely important. Because yes, at the top, of course, it's really important, but when you're playing at this level, I just feel like having somebody who has a 4-star weak foot is a huge advantage over some of the other guys, some of the other striking options, because, you know, they're already going to be shit with their best foot. You need to kind of make sure that they're at least decent with their weak foot, and that's something that James Wilson definitely has. Here he is inside the box. He takes the shot with his weak. No, I think he might be left-footed. Regardless, he gets the goal. 2-0. Looking good. James' second goal. And by the way, the reason that the first goal isn't shown is because there was actually a problem with the footage and I lost it. So that's why it's not there. I apologize for it, guys. It's unfortunate, but things happen. James Wilson in the box finds Jervis, who misses just inexplicably, and that's where having a good weak foot comes in. You know, if you don't have a good one, then you're going to make mistakes like that. It's really, really embarrassing, but it is what it is. It's League 2. And we got our first win in the division, so obviously starting off the way we want to. 3 points against a team. I don't honestly know what the level is for these teams. I don't watch League 2, so I don't really know exactly which clubs are going to be, you know, harder to beat and stuff like that. But we're just going to take it as it is. 3 points, 2 goals for Wilson. And I came to my mind that I forgot to show you guys the tactics. And I don't usually do drop back. In fact, it's like the second time ever. I've only done one game, and that was an Ultimate Team in like October with drop back. So I'm going to be trying to see how I play with it. I feel like when I'm playing with good defenders, I can actually afford to be a bit more aggressive in my defending. But when I'm playing with players like this, where their stats are awful, both from a positional point of view as well as an actual technical point of view, have to be a bit more conservative. So we're going to play drop back with one depth. We're going to only have 3 width to make sure that we stay compact. And then offensively, we're still going to try to be fast. I want to try to play my usual counter-attacking style, because that's just kind of how I feel most comfortable with the game. Not too much width, going to keep it around even, and we're not really going to throw players forward to get in the box or off corners or free kicks. I want to keep a very balanced team, but one that once we have the ball, we go straight for the goal. We're very, very direct. I don't want to waste any time. I don't like tiki-taka. I don't like possession. That's not really my style. In real life, sure, like, it's alright. I'm still not a big fan of tiki-taka even in real life, but you know, if it's done right, then it is beautiful. But in the game, I just want to be as aggressive and as direct as possible when it comes to the offensive side. Like I said, I usually am a lot more aggressive, but I want to be a bit more conservative. Of course, our fullbacks are on stay back, and everybody else is pretty much going to do their thing. The wingers will get in behind the defense, and the CDM will actually still stay back. And I expect them, because it's FIFA, to still move forward, but I'm definitely hoping that they can do a job. Meanwhile, Marin, one-on-one with the keeper. He shoots it straight at him, but on the rebound, he's able to put it in the back of the net, and it's 1-0 against Crawley. So, looking good. Looking good. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, our team is kind of OP for this division, at least on paper, because I feel like once the players start to develop through training and actually playing, I think a lot of these guys are going to develop very fast, and we're going to have a very OP team for this division. But to be fair, we're still working with players that are very raw. The talent is there, but it's still, like I said, very, very raw. So have to develop them quite a bit. Ferreira might actually be our best player because he has pretty well-rounded stats. Meanwhile, James Wilson, off an excellent pass, not able to get past the keeper. But so far, against this is Crawley, we're playing some good football here. We're basically just constantly sieging them. Ferguson not able to find the back of the net. Wilson tries to go with a finesse shot. Of course, that's not really going to work with. I mean, like, he's a good player and all for this division, but he's not. He's not exactly Del Piero, no, is he? Andrade, meanwhile, with a header, hits the post, and Marin is not able to score on the rebound and take advantage of the mistake there by the keeper. Meanwhile, a chance for Crawley, who make it 1-1. Poor defending. Sanchez is actually our new left back. We just signed him from Atletico Madrid for 5 years. He's got a lot of potential, I think up to 84, 85. So definitely a very promising left back, and the fact that we have him for 5 years is good, because that means that we can most likely, if things don't backfire brutally on us, we can most likely carry him all the way to the Premier League. And right now we don't want to lose any points early on. It's really important that we continue to get points and we can get ourselves. I don't know necessarily about a lead, but we need to maintain contact with the top teams or the people that are at the front. Meanwhile, Crawley's starting to get some confidence. I really hope this is Crawley. If not, I'm just making a fucking fool out of myself. But regardless, I feel like the team is there. Andrade, we need to change. Like I said, he's not good enough as he bombs forward on the wing. Actually, I don't do skill moves, but I did it right there. And it worked with Andrade. Turnbull finds Wilson on the turn. Able to make it 2-1. That's what we want to see. And I told you guys, I trust James. I just trust him. I feel like somebody, like I said, like him, he's superior to everybody else in this division. I mean, there might be one or two strikers that are potentially on his level, but I think he's just next level. And I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that can really carry us into League One. I mean, just look at this. Like, that's not even an easy finish. I mean, there were no defenders on him, but he still had to turn. He still had to get contact correctly. And he did it. He fucking scored the goal. That's 4 goals in 2 games for him. Or no, wait, no, that's 3 goals so far in two games, I think. So yeah, because Marin scored the first one. Have to make some changes because, of course, being such a low-level team, players do tend to get tired a lot faster, despite them being young. So you would expect them to have decent stamina, but that's not really something that FIFA takes into consideration. And meanwhile, James Wilson breaks behind the defense, takes the shot, and scores his 4th goal in 2 games, making it 3-1 and essentially closing out the match. Super 6 is the sponsor. James Wilson is the killer. And I believe that fucking Sir Torturetto is going to be the carry, guys. With his tactics, nobody can really touch us at this level. It'll be interesting to see what we can do in the Cups, because I feel like, the team is, like I said, better than League 2. And maybe in the FA Cup or in the Carabao Cup, we can actually do something. Will be interesting to see what happens when we start coming up against teams that are a couple divisions above us. Meanwhile, James Wilson puts in a very good cross, but Touré's not able to finish it. That's a shame. Would have been nice to have that 4th, especially because he lost his spot to Sanchez, and I think he's going to be an option for us once we're in the lead in situations like this one. Because of course, Marin, he gets tired pretty quickly, so we do have to take out some of our wingers, and he could be a guy to give some extra defensive cover, and he is kind of fast, so he could be an interesting one. And I'm going to be basically training these guys the most because they are our most promising. And meanwhile, we're going to take on Charlton in the Carabao Cup. So, like I was just talking about a few seconds ago, like, it'll be interesting to see what we can actually do against teams that are far superior. And I think Charlton's in the championship, so definitely a couple of divisions above us. And I don't know quite what they're doing. I'd have to check the standings, but I don't know quite what they're doing in the league itself. But right now, they're sieging us. Only 2 shots in the first half, to be fair. We had 0, so of course they're defensively they're really just they're just beating us down and not really giving us any kind of space, which is frustrating because it's to be expected because yes, Marin is very talented, but he's still very young and doesn't have a lot of experience. So we're playing against the guys that are around 70 something overall. So guys that have at least some quality. But still, Garner here takes a shot, which is our first shot of the game at the 74th minute. So it's taken us a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Hamed makes it 1-0 for Charlton at the 87th minute, basically the 88th. And that could be the goal that seals the deal. I haven't gone balls to the wall. I've been trying to play conservative, trying to at least take it to extra time. But defensively, there was just a huge mistake made right there by the Hill, who is the young player that supposedly is going to be very, very good for us. And that's a shame. That's a really, really big shame because I feel like we weren't creating anything, but at least defensively, we held them to 4 shots in the entire match. So I feel like at least we were doing what we were supposed to do, which was make it difficult for them. But at the end of the day, Charlton is a great club. They're a club that's spent a lot of time in the Premier League. They've had some really, really good players, and it makes sense for them to move on and for us to be knocked out. So the next match is going to be Port Vale. We will be playing that in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this first one. It's been a long-ass time since I've done a series in English in FIFA, and I'm happy to be doing it. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a long one, so hopefully you guys are excited about that. If you are, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comments down below if you have any tips on how to succeed and be successful and play well in League 2. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.